Welcome to my shop. My name is Rachel Gingell. Today I'm going to troubleshoot the charging system on this Farmall Cub tractor, so go ahead and follow along with me. I will teach you 4 simple tests that you can do to diagnose your charging system. At the end of the video, when you do these tests, you're going to know exactly where the problem lies within your charging system. There won't be any guesswork and buying parts that you hope fix the problem. Instead, you'll know exactly what parts you need to buy to repair the charging system on your antique tractor. Now, behind me is a Farmall Cub, and the system is the same on all 6-volt tractors, Cub through M on the Farmall models. If you have a different make or model of tractor that still has a Delco system, you might gain some insight. There will be some differences that I'm not going to go into every single different model, but you might be able to piece together some of the information to help you on a different make or model of tractor if you follow along closely. Now, these 4 steps are included in my book. It's called the Farmall Cub Encyclopedia. It's a great book. If you own a Farmall Cub, you definitely need to own it. It has detailed tutorials with pictures for every type of maintenance that you would want to do on your Farmall Cub. It's written in a really easy to follow method so that you can read the directions and know exactly what you need to do to your tractor. In addition to that, it has lots of history about the Farmall Cub. It talks about implements that were available, a buyer's guide, and so much more. It's a beautiful book that I know you would need to own if you have a Farmall Cub, or even if you just like reading about tractors. You'll learn some stuff too. So follow the link up here in the corner, click on that little I, and then you can purchase that book on my website. So let's get started on those 4 tests. Test number 1 is to see if my gauge is working properly. When I start my tractor up, the amp gauge should show a little bit of charge on the needle, which would mean that my charging system is working right. If there is no charge showing, it means that either my gauge is bad or there's a different problem within the charging system, and tests 2, 3, and 4 will help us determine that. My tractor is in neutral, so it's safe to start with me standing next to it. Let's go ahead and start it. And that's good. We can see really good charge on this gauge. So my charging system works on this tractor, but there would be times when that gauge doesn't work, but you have to know if it's just the gauge that's bad or another problem. So follow with me on steps 2, 3, and 4, and you'll know where that problem lies. You can see that I have a rototiller gas tank hooked up. That's just so that for the video, you can see all of the steps that I'm doing without hindrance from the hood and the original gas tank that would be on this tractor. Let's move on to step number 2. Next, I'm going to remove the ground battery cable while the tractor is running. If my tractor continues to run, then my charging system is functioning properly. If it quits, then I know that I have a problem either with the generator or the voltage regulator. I already have it loosened up so that once my tractor is running, I can easily pull it off without having to use some tools. So let's start it up and see what happens. Okay. Let's take my cable off. Okay, my cable's off and my tractor is still running, which shows that my charging system is working properly. If yours quits, you'll need to follow on to test number 3 and 4. Test number 3 is a voltage regulator or cutout, if your tractor is equipped with one, bypass. Now, the reason we want to bypass the voltage regulator is to see if our generator is working properly. So you do that with a set of wires like what I have here that have the alligator clips on the end. You put one end of the alligator clip onto the field terminal of your voltage regulator or cutout. Look on the terminals on the back for the letter F, because that stands for field. So you put your alligator clip on field, like I already have mine, and then the other end of the wire I'm going to touch to this ground connection right here on the generator. When I touch this on the generator, I should see activity on the gauge if my generator is working properly. However, if there's no activity, that would tell me that there's a problem with the generator or the voltage regulator, or both. So you'll need to proceed to test number 4 to see if your generator is working or not. But if you have no activity and test number 4 passes, then you know the problem is with your voltage regulator or cutout system. So I'm going to go ahead and start the tractor. Then I'm going to test this on ground and see the spike on the gauge. So I saw activity on my gauge, which is good. That means that when my voltage regulator is bypassed, my generator is working, which tells me that my generator is working and there's a problem with my voltage regulator. However, if you have no activity, you need to proceed to step number 4 to test that generator. The steps that I'm showing apply whether or not your tractor has a cutout or a voltage regulator. However, if you did that test and found out that your cutout or your voltage regulator is faulty and you need to replace it, you need to make sure that you buy the correct part. First, let's talk about the difference between the two. In my hand is a cutout. If I take this screw off and look inside, I see only one coil inside. A voltage regulator would have 2 coils. That's the difference between the two. Now, you could have a tractor that has the wrong piece. It could have a cutout on it when it needs a voltage regulator. It's very likely that that has been replaced over the course of the years that your tractor has been around. And if somebody replaced it before you, they could have put the wrong part on, and that would cause the charging system to not work properly. So it's important to know whether you need a cutout or a voltage regulator. So take that cover off and do some inspection. Now also, that part needs to match the generator that's on your tractor. Let me show you a generator here. This generator has 3 brushes. There's 1 here and then 2 on this other side. One of them's adjustable. This 3-brush generator would go with a cutout because the 3rd brush makes up for the coil that's missing in the cutout. On the flip side, if you have a voltage regulator which has 2 coils, there will only be 2 brushes on the generator. So you need to take that inspection cover off of the generator, look inside, count how many brushes you have, and then make sure that you have the correct either voltage regulator or cutout that goes with the system on your tractor. Test number 4 is a generator test. This is the best way to test your generator, so follow closely so you can do the same test on your own tractor. First, I loosened up the bracket for my generator, moved it back so that I could take the belt off of the pulley. Then I brought my generator back, put it in position, and tightened it up. I used a set of wires here, which you can see. This one that is for the field terminal on the generator goes back to the ground connection near my battery. And then this wire is connected to power on my battery. So I'm going to put power to the armature. When I do so, the end of my generator will start going around like an old DC motor. That will confirm to me that my generator is working properly. So let me show you how that works. Just like that, you can see it go around. Sometimes that'll spark, and that's okay. Don't be concerned if it sparks a little bit there. The first time I did this test, I had a little bit of trouble with the ground connection, so I hooked up an extra set of wires here on the case of my generator and traced them back to the ground connection near my battery so that my generator is fully grounded, and then the test will work properly. So make sure you have a good ground as well. When I do this test and the pulley goes around, it tells me that everything inside the generator is working as it should. If it wasn't working, then that would tell me that my generator's bad or maybe my voltage regulator's bad. It could be a combination of the two. But this test will tell you whether or not the generator is working or not by knowing if that pulley goes around. I hope that you will use these steps on your own tractor. Those 4 tests will help you pinpoint exactly where that problem is on your charging system. So follow these steps on your own tractor, and this will be of benefit to you. Please subscribe to our channel. We release new videos all the time, and if you own a Farmall Cub, purchase the book, The Farmall Cub Encyclopedia, for more information.